What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be jumping into some PvP with Therapist of Blood Betty. So as you guys know, this hero has really been changing up the meta overall. She's just ridiculously powerful. A lot of it, I think, does come down to having a noble core of origin, especially if you have an entire team, like very late game PvP action where you have tons of chances to bloodbind twine enemies. And we're going to jump into that today. So what I'm going to be doing is, because we have our Discord link and all that stuff in our guild, I'm going to just be jumping into battles so you guys can see them over and over. It's going to be cut up a bit, but we're going to show you guys some really good highlights of Therapist of Blood Betty today. And hopefully with this next week's event, we can actually upgrade her even further. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So the first team we're going to be going up against does not have a lot of divine power, but does have quite a few S tier heroes. So I'm kind of intrigued to see how this plays out. Now, if you're wondering how our team is set up, oh my god. So essentially we have Crown on everybody except Elusive Mirror on our main girl here. It does make her the fastest on the battlefield, and I guess if you don't have Destiny Transition on many heroes, Betty does everything. And granted, you have to remember this might not be everybody's premium perfect team, because not everybody updates their lineup here all the time. Sometimes they just throw heroes in for big events, but you kind of see a glimpse of how powerful Betty can be, especially in the early game. Earlier end game. So this battle might be one of the more even power-wise that we'll see. We're both right around the same power level, but as you can see, the one big difference level, holy cow, is this girl Therapist of Blood Betty, just absolutely shredding through teams, just like insanely easily. You can see the power. There's Giant Killer, Giant Killer, Giant Killer here. They're all, actually, I think they have a higher Destiny Transition than us, but they have one hero in their lineup that is the Elena that is not Destiny Transition. But you guys can see, if you have some burst heroes and such, and Lord of Fear Aspens and all these things, doesn't really matter if you don't get to take your turn, because even if Therapist of Blood Betty doesn't do insanely big amounts of damage, she basically locks down the enemy team from being able to do their turn. Like, literally, they don't get to go. And then guess what? They don't get to go this turn either. And she is such an oppressive PvP hero if she is like one of the fastest on the battlefield. Absolute insanity. You can see she's doing just about all the damage with a secondary hero just coming in and cleaning up. And you got to remember too, mine isn't that strong because I don't have the tenants powered up for her. I am going to have to do that. I think I'm going to swap power away from Doppelganger Natalia and just put it back into her, because like you can see, she's just absolutely crushing it. It's not like she just does this once in a while. She does this almost every single combat. Right there, she took out everybody but the Hyperspace Hunter Ilamok, who's just, you know, generating shields up. And then so much damage is absolutely insane. So it's not really sharing the workload here. You can see the little bits of yellow here. You can see mostly zeros here. And that's what you're come to expect with this hero. My good old buddy Brownie here. So this is another team that has a very similar power level overall. So they do get to go before our hero. Well, at least one of their hero does. Two of their hero does. Let's see if any others are faster. They might be set up for speed here. Well, doesn't matter. Two get to go. The rest basically lose all their health and are generating shields through Hyperspace Hunter Ilamok. Our Therapist of Blood Betty is almost dead, but we do also have some follow-up hits coming from big hitters like Lord of Fear Aspen. Might be able to do a lot. Let's see what he does. Oh, never mind. Betty got to go again. So it's kind of interesting, though, because you see heroes like our Lord of Fear Aspen do the active. The Doppelganger Natalia literally just generated shields off of his active skill. It's kind of crazy how that works out. And then the rest of this battle is probably going to come down to surviving long enough for our Doom Terminator Vulcan to finish the battle out, I think. You gotta remember though, because our Betty is so squishy because she's using that mirror, that does mean she could go down very quickly. Having a queen on the other team is very important for that counterattack damage. That ping damage adds up very, very quickly. And it looks like we're not making much progress against that Natalia in the back row. If anything, I should probably switch our Lord of Fear Aspen to be across from the hyperspace hunter Ilamok to try to whittle him down first. Oh, that one actually did a big hit on Natalia. And our team's still looking healthy because, again, we have our own hyperspace hunter Ilamok chilling here on our team. So I think Vulcan might clear some enemies out right here. Let's see what he does. Not quite. Almost got the queen. But both front row heroes don't have unbending will anymore. And the fact that the enemy team doesn't have a Doom Terminator Vulcan just sounds like it's a matter of time before we win with weakness disclosure. Whew, that was actually a huge hit from Natalia. People underestimate Natalia's active skill. It does a lot of damage. Ooh, Vulcan almost got the queen down. That was so close. She must have barely any HP. All right, this round, probably the victory. What do you guys think? It does draw the battle out much longer. We still don't have weakness disclosure. We're really close. There we go. Lord of Fear Aspen with the cleanup right there. You can see Betty was only around for like one round. And her damage was still the majority of the battle. Let's run it back again because that is a much more even team that we've seen so far here. Oh my gosh, you see, she almost dies actually she did die round one, and that's because of all that ping damage is absolutely brutal. That time was interesting. She didn't even get to get her active skill off. That was just her passive because, ooh, I just realized because Star Swordsman Mockman, I think, hit her in round one. Whereas last time that didn't happen, so she got her active and her passive off. This could mean a very different battle. We might actually lose it now, and that might be key to beating a team like this. We'll have to see. Either that or did she start with only 50 energy? I feel like she only used a basic attack and hit front row. That's interesting. Do you guys think we can still win this? It's going to come down to Doom Terminator Vulcan. That's pretty much what has to happen at this point. And we have to get to weakness disclosure, but there's 6 enemies alive, which means they're going to use more actives, which means we're going to get more analysis layers and get to it faster. Wonder if we take out the Mockman right here, actually. Come on, Vulcan, let's go. Big active. Oh, so close. My goodness, come on, man. We can do this. So many shields. They have like these dodge layers building up. They got so many things. But as long as we have our hyperspace hunter Ilamok to help us generate shielding, I think we'll be okay. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to play out. I really, really don't. We got to start taking away some enemies, though. So hopefully DTV hits the Freya with the basic. Oh, that was a nice hit from Aspen right there. Man, those counterattacks from a front row Mockman actually pretty devastating. Wow, I think Mockman might be MVP of this battle right here. Yeah, there's no weakness disclosure, so that's not going to be good enough. And we go down. And that's honestly due to Mockman's counterattack damage is wrecking us. Remember, this is also a 6-star right there. Let's do one more battle right here. I think we'll round this video out since this is a really cool, interesting matchup to show off the highlights of both heroes. Oh, so she's starting with not full energy. So there's a hero on the battlefield that's lowering our energy, and I don't know who it is necessarily. And that's where we're hitting Mockman there. And then she gets pinged down the entire battle. That's interesting, and that's making us lose right here. Interesting. So the fact that we don't start with energy every time in the battle, like this time we do, which means we'll probably win, right? I think that's like the difference maker here. Let's just watch the round 1 active, the difference. You can see it's a ton of extra damage. And still losing. Wow, Brownie is going 3-1 on me. I'm going to see if I can catch up. We're going to watch a couple first round actives. And again, it really comes down to that queen being huge with the counterattack. And then right there, that was the basic attack right there. Just absolutely wrecking us, that front row Mockman. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. That's some PvP action for you today. Leave a comment down below if you want to see a different team composition. Who would have thought Star Storage Mockman ends up being like one of the highlights of this video. And I'll see you guys next time.